Wildfires, along with hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, any of those types of things are especially challenging when you have large animals like horses. Every moment counts. We have to make split-second decisions that have to be important decisions, and it's critical to make those decisions before the disaster strikes. Our animals are relying on us to make appropriate choices and decisions for their benefit and for our benefits. A part of that is being prepared and organized. We're going to chat here about how this can help you to be more prepared for an evacuation or an emergency that may come along your way. So welcome, Isla.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
The fire was approximately 28 kilometers away from us, correct?
Yeah, it was. It seemed like it was far enough away, so we didn't have to worry too much, but yeah, it traveled crazy far, so like all of a sudden it became something that we had to really pay attention to. The day before, it wasn't really at all coming in our direction. It was headed the other way, but just the winds changed, and within 24 hours, it all of a sudden was going to be something we really needed to worry about.
It traveled 28 kilometers, which meant to us that if we didn't take action at that point in time, it could have traveled another 28 kilometers and been on top of us. And we didn't want to be in the position that we were trying to load horses in the dark, with anxiety, with panic, with a fire on our doorstep. So the wind is something you really need to look at, isn't it? The prevailing winds, where they're coming from.
Everything was good. Heading away from us, the winds shifted direction and started to bring the fire directly towards us. So that was a huge scare to us, because just a matter of a shift in wind direction can mean devastation, which we are surrounded by quite a few. And I remember I did say, if there's anything we have to worry about, it's the White Lake fire.
I mean, having large animals takes extra special care that we need to consider. We had a plan A, and so we had people that we had arranged where we could take our horses to if we needed to be evacuated.
And we were trying at that point to figure out where to take the horses, because our plan A wasn't going to work. Back, I was also trying to figure out if I could rent an additional trailer to put on the back of my truck. But as it was, all trailers were already taken, so that was like impossible to do. So there was just so many things going through my head as what can we do to get out as fast as we can.
Right? We had our trailer already hooked up. We just had to do a few things, but extra trailers. We had 11 horses that we had to move in a hurry. You get to the point where you're just too frazzled to think. I don't know about you, but yeah, for me, I was too frazzled to think. And Robin said to me at one point, she said, so what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about that? She was firing questions at me, and I just had to say to her, I don't know. I'm too frazzled. Can you take it over? Which she did. And so that's one of our points that I want to make clear to you, is have help. Have somebody, when you are in the midst of trying to get all of this happening, that you have an outside person who can help. As we do irrigation around our farm, we had incredible plume of smoke that was like nothing we'd seen before. And when this happens, it creates its own weather. And when I saw this plume of smoke coming in from the west and the wind blowing very hard, my heart just sank, because I knew it was different. And Isla witnessed it driving home, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. You could see this like massive black cloud that entirely consumed the valley. And as you got closer, it got darker and darker, and was just like you were in a freak show almost. It was crazy scary.
It was, wasn't it? It was surreal. It wasn't believable. And the speed of which the fire was traveling also wasn't believable. So that's why we decided to evacuate our 11 horses. I had posted actually on social media and got responses from all around the world. And if any of you are listening here who responded to me, thank you so much for responding. Your support was very helpful, beneficial. Oh, you know, Isla, we have 11 horses, right, who are all different kinds of horses. And this is where I want to impress upon you that it's important that you know your horses. You know them inside out. You know who they are, what they like, what they don't like, What stresses them out? What makes them feel comfortable? What do your horses need? Because in a situation like this where you're going to a completely different place, they don't know your horses. You have to be the one who knows your horses and knows what they need. Number one, first of all, is make sure that your horse is handled. Your horse is brought out, right? You do things with the horse. Showing your horse how to step up have a block where your horse steps up into something. Showing your horse that there's a trailer, just getting your horse familiar to see the trailer, have the trailer inside their paddock perhaps, that they can visit it and maybe walk in on their own. Make sure your horse follows the feel, right? They're able to follow being led. All this done before the stress and the worry and the anxiety, because at that point in time, it's too late. You need to have this prepared. Know your horses so you know which horses go well together. Know how to load the horses in the trailer. Which one first? Which one second? Which one third? Do some need dividers? Do some need it totally open? Do some need food? Do some need no food, right? Who gets along with who? Those kinds of things. When you've got 11 horses, we did it in 3 loads, and so we had to make sure that there was the compatibility there with everybody. Preparation is the key, right? Preparedness, making sure that your horses respond to you and doing it in a timely fashion, right? Not waiting until it's an emergency and you've got to get out there. It's not just you, it's everybody else in the neighborhood doing the same thing. So you need to take that into consideration. Don't wait. Make sure your horses are safe. We got the horses out first, right? That was our priority, wasn't it? Right? We so much so that we ended up not looking after ourselves, but that's okay. We had our horses out first, we had them safe, and then we could come back, or a person could come back at that point in time and look after things.
Well, it was amazing that we had a spot to go that was big enough for all our horses, and we were welcomed with open arms, so that took a huge weight off our chest. So we are very, very grateful to Janice and her crew. It was just so nice to know that we all had them in the same spot, and she had different areas where we could put different groups, because we had 3 different groups that had to go in separate paddocks due to like bossing issues or older horses or different needs. So it's important to know that too, like which groups go together once you get to the destination that you do have to evacuate your horses to.
We have a Cushing's horse, we have a Mini, we have a Pony. Those 3 horses, the Easy Keepers, had to go together. We have old mares who required food soaking. We had to put them in a paddock together where their food could be soaked. Other horses wouldn't get into their food. It was easy enough that we were able to do it. So it's been a terrifying 2 weeks, right, Isla?
Yeah.
It's been absolutely terrifying. I hope this helps you to be more prepared. You think you're prepared, but you can really never be completely prepared. Because as Isla mentioned, we had a plan A, but the fire season was so bad this year that we had fires all around us. And when we were put on alert and I looked at the map, it was like, where do we go? We can't go west because of fire there. There's the fire southwest of us. That's the one that was blowing in our direction. There was a fire east of us. There was a fire northeast of us. So there was fires all around. Our plan A didn't work out because they were also on alert. And people messaged me saying, oh, you could come here, but we're also on alert. So this made it very difficult. We didn't have a plan B at the time. So when you're thinking about your planning and your preparedness, have a plan B, right?
Yes.
That's what we didn't do. We didn't have a plan B. Have a plan B. Okay, there's one place we can go, but where is another place that we could go? And I've heard stories of people who have had to evacuate 2 and 3 times. Try to avoid that as much as possible. It's just adding to your stress and your anxiety. All right, anything else that you want to add?
Just have a kit in the trailer, first aid kit, so that you know if you're evacuated somewhere, you can still look after cuts and wounds, because going to a new places, you never really know what kind of fencing. It might be different than what you currently have, so it's always good to have like your first aid kit ready to go too.
Yep, good point. Excellent point. And we can help you to be more effective, more prepared, more planned for these types of situations that are so extreme. At times, it felt like it wasn't even real, didn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we just had to operate on autopilot and make sure that the horses were safe and sound and take it from there.
And thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Make sure you got support, like a person like this that's by your side helping you along your way.